Hey YouTube, it's Soul Prime 13 with another Transformers video review. This time we're doing the Comic Edition 2-pack of Emirate Xaaron and Autobot Flame. Taking a quick look at the packaging here, we have what I believe to be Flame's fist holding several Autobots. On the side we get the two of them in our in a little comic splash art. On the top we do have some comic artwork as they fall over in the background. We got our legal jargon, we got some various comic panels here. The front is one of the Velcro slots. We got a couple bios here, and then on the back we have our product shots. So there is that. Put the box to the side. It will come back in a moment. We have our instructions here, and they have plenty of pretty pictures. So there's that. I was considering doing these two as separate videos, but I don't really have a good comparison to put this guy next to. I don't have any other molds that really fit along with him, but I think it'll probably just be easier to do them as a single video for now, since they are a 2-pack. We will start with Xaaron, so we'll move him off to the side for a moment. He has some nice metallic yellow/gold to him. He's got some nice metallic copper on his feet. These tank treads are removed. They are technically parts forming, as is the entire tank cannon. You can use the tank turret as a shield if you want. The gun does come off and can peg into his hand as a gun, or if you saw my other video, you can do sort of Megatron arm cannon kind of thing. He has some of that nice comic shading paintwork here. I really do like his head sculpt. I don't know how well I can get this to focus, but it reminds me a little bit of the Mark I Iron Man armor from the first Marvel MCU movie. He's got 3 holes as a mouth. It does look like he has yellow painted eyes under there. It's sort of hard to tell. It's a very small head, but got the gun with some copper and more of that comic shading. The tank turret has some copper here and here, some copper on the crotch plate. Fairly solid in the back. I do kind of wish that these parts were maybe done up in like a more metallic color. It's not a huge deal, but overall a fun little figure. And I have been enjoying messing with him a bit so far. So there is that. So as far as that guy goes, we'll put him off to the side for a moment. And now we're going to bring in Flame, who I have a bit more to say about. Overall, I do enjoy the look of this figure. He is a retool of the Gamer Edition Megatron. And he does have some of the same flaws, the big one being these knee pieces, which prevent the knees from bending for whatever reason. So that's rather upsetting that they didn't fix that. But aside from that, my biggest issue with him is actually color-wise. And it's the gray pieces for his treads and his hands, especially the hands, because bringing the box back in, you can literally see he has red hands. He has red hands, but for some reason they made them gray here. And like here you can see again red hands. You can't really see the sides of his legs in these pictures. That you can see like his kneecap in this one, but I wish they had made these treads like either like preferably orange, and his hands should be red, because the gray just it doesn't look good. I don't think it looks as good as it could. The gray here on these like pipe pieces, that looks okay, because that's intentional. But here, the gray hands, that just feels lazy. Because like he's already got red all over him. Why can't you make his hands the right color? Like I don't even really. I'm not familiar with his character. I haven't read the Marvel comics from way back when. But like, why couldn't you just make his hands red? I don't get it. So that is probably my biggest complaint, is that the gray pieces just kind of break up the colors in a not so great way. Other than that, I love his colors. I really like the overall appearance of him. Again, he does have some of the same issues as the Gamer Edition Megatron. Let's compare the two. So they are, roughly the same. For him, he has the chest, crotch, and hips are all completely remolded, and they are much smoother. The one thing I noticed is his head and Megatron's head are... I feel like Megatron's head is way too small, honestly. It feels so small. Now that, like... I don't know. And he's got a teeny tiny head. But yeah, overall, I do really like this figure at like first glance. The knee thing can be fixed. You can like shear these off. I don't know if I will go that far or not. It really depends on how much I find myself playing with him, because if I end up just keeping him for display on a shelf, I'm not going to mess with that too much. But yeah, overall, I really do like the way this guy looks. So there is that. We'll move on to articulation. Well, actually, we should probably discuss. He does still have the hand gun removal gimmick, which still looks kind of wonky with a big cannon kind of thing. I prefer just to leave it plugged in on top like so. That feels more cohesive to me as far as Megatron goes. But for articulation, his shoulders can come all the way out. He does have a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows for transformation. If this will, there we go. His wrists do move up and down due to their transformation joint. See, yeah, full 360 at the shoulder, full 360 at the waist. His head does appear to be on a ball joint. His legs can go all the way forward and all the way back. There are no hip skirts here to get in the way or anything. Knee, you get one click of bend due to that glaring design flaw. His legs, or his feet, do have pivot. For that, he does have a toe bend, and he does have up and down at the toe. So there is that. Alright, should probably talk about this guy's articulation. We'll go ahead and put this on the back. His head is also on a ball joint, and it's on the whole head section sort of on a hinge due to transformation. 360 at the shoulder. His arms do come all the way out, although the joint is like the upper bicep rather than the shoulder. Also, double jointed elbows. The hands are on a up and down hinge due to transformation. He does have a full waist rotation. I might have to take the backpack off, but it is needed for transformation. His legs do go all the way forward and all the way back. He can do the full splits, and he does have full ankle tiltage. So there's that for Xaaron. But yeah, overall, I do enjoy the 2-pack. I would say that they're worth picking up. But before we, get into our final verdicts, let's do the transformations. Let's start with Xaaron here. So first we're going to take his gun off, and then take the turret off, and then take the treads off. And because yeah, he does parts form. But yeah, you want to rotate his head 180 and then fold it in to this cavity. You do want to make sure to turn it around, because if you don't, it will get caught. Then you're going to bring his shoulders back on these hinges, and then you want to fold in his hands like so. You're going to turn the waist around 180, and then these little teeny tiny tabs right here will plug in to his hip skirts like so. Then we're going to come here and flip these sort of sled pieces out and fold them down like so. Then rotate the legs to face inward, and then tab them together like so. And then we're going to take his feet and fold them down. One thing I don't understand is why there's this tab here, because it doesn't seem to be related to the transformation. Though I do know that there was like a way that Reflector could sort of form a camera. I think they released a 3-pack that made the camera. Maybe it has something to do with that. If you know, let me know, because I have no idea why this random tab is here. But yeah, that's let's see, then we open up the chest and fold this down, and we fold out this. And this is kind of annoying because you have to peg these tabs into the legs here, but because of the way it works, it just wants to collapse on that hinge. So you sort of have to brace it and then force it to plug in like so. And if you put too much pressure on it, it will just, come on tab, but it at least holds reasonably solidly. But that's the vehicle mode, and then we bring back on all the parts, and the treads have a hole and a peg and a hole. So we just bring those. Yep, see, just decided to collapse on me. Get this all put back together. And then same on the other side, just peg these in. Then for the turret, put the gun back in, and then this will plug into this hole that has been exposed on the chest. And there you have Xaaron in his tank mode. And I do believe, hold on, I accidentally tucked it away. Yes, he is blast compatible. You can do some blam blam blam, because yeah, tank's not really gonna daka, but yeah, there is that. So there's that. Now let's move on to Flame's transformation. First thing you want to do is you're going to take the gun off. Then we're going to make sure that these shoulder pieces are straight upright. We're going to open up these tabs on the arms, fold in the fist, fold in the fist. Then we're going to come here to the back, fold this down, and bring this whole assembly up, and rotate this whole spiky assembly around so that the hinge is now facing towards his front. Going to untab the chest and sort of just bring that down and out of the way. So for his left arm, what we're going to do is we're going to fold it at both hinges so that it sits like so. and then you're going to bring that around, and it's going to there's a tab, there's two tabs, a slot and a slot on the shoulder and the forearm. You're going to bring that forward, and they're both going to tab into this sort of chest area. So, come on. I'll make sure that I'm getting them both in there, because for some reason the shoulder one doesn't want to go in. There we go. So that'll sit like that. Then we come around to the back, and the other arm will come back like so. There is a tab here and a slot here, and we're just gonna make sure that's all locked into place. And then there are two slots in his forearm and two tabs on his booty, and that'll lock that arm into place. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna fold his toes down, and then we're going to unhook the back of the leg. We're going to bring this out somewhat, fold the tread forward, and then we want to wiggle the toe and foot around so that we can get that inside the leg. Then we're going to bring this around and bring this panel to lock that whole bit together. Then we're going to fold the other tank tread down, and then we can bring the foot sort of flush here, like so. Then we're gonna rotate it like so, and then bringing it all the way around, it'll come forward, and this section you can sort of see comes together, and there are like several tabs that will just all lock into the sides here. There we go. Come on. Am I doing something wrong here? I don't know why you're fighting me. There we go. Yeah, and there are, you'll feel there's some tabs along the side as well. But yeah, and then we're just gonna do the same on the other side. Gonna separate these, bring this around, make sure that you get that foot in there, bring it around, pull this together, bring this whole assembly up to the side, make sure that we everything all lined up, and bring it together. Alright, and then finally we're going to make sure that this whole front bit plugs in to these two tabs along the front, and that'll lock everything in place like so. Finally, there are two tabs on his thighs that will peg into the chest piece. Make sure that they're all lined up. There we go. And then finally we bring the gun in and just peg it onto this peg on the shoulder. And there we have the tank mode. And as you can see, like these gray bits, they feel a little out of place. I would have liked for them to be, you know, lit up like they were, you know, burning hot or something. Because yeah, the only gray that really seems to fit are these pipe pieces here on his chest. Those at least seem to make sense. But yeah, there are the tank modes. And give me a second, we'll bring Megatron back in. Alright, so we'll compare them again with Gamer Edition Megatron. As you can see, these two are essentially the same in this mode, just different colors, and obviously one comes with a melee weapon, the other does not. I will say that I feel like this yellow and red probably, I don't know how I feel about the yellow on the end. I think I probably would have preferred it if the red was on the end, but it's not the end of the world. Also, this is blast compatible as well. So there's that. Yeah, as you can see, Xaaron is obviously much smaller, being a deluxe. These two have their flaws. Oh, almost took the wrong one out of the shot. They do have their flaws. They are not perfect, but they do look good. Honestly, I do enjoy both of them. I know plenty of people have their issues with the Gamer Edition Megatron mold, and I'm not going to try and deny that there are some big flaws. That knee thing is probably one of the dumbest things they've done in years. But, you know, overall these two do look good. I really like all of these Comic Edition repaints and retools. This one, I definitely enjoy messing with this guy. I know that a lot of people are going to be turned off by the parts forming, but in this one's particular case, I almost feel like that's more of a strength considering how simplistic the mold is overall. It gives some more play value. You can try and like armor him up in other weird ways, like you can try and put the, you know, treads on like his shoulders in robot mode, or maybe you want him to be a hover tank in the same way that Megatron or Flame and Megatron are, and, you know, put the treads underneath or something. I do feel like in his particular case, the parts forming actually gives him more play value, but, you know, that's my personal opinion on that. I do enjoy messing with both of them, and, you know, aside from these gray bits really annoying me, and personally I don't like the yellow right here on the end of the cannon. But, you know, that's entirely a personal preference. This, I definitely feel like that's more of a laziness thing than a preference. But I really do enjoy the bright colors. I do like the remolded parts. So I do enjoy both these figures. Personally, I think the set overall, if I gotta be honest, I think it's like a 7. I think it's like a 7. It's definitely worth picking up. You know, these are some more deep cut characters from the old comic book days. So, you know, I'm not super familiar with them. I do know that Xaaron is apparently one of the like Autobot High Command from back then. I saw that the day I got this in the basics on Orion Pax. If you've ever seen Chris McFeely, I believe that's his name, his channel, and, you know, if you're here, you're probably a big Transformers fan, and his channel is way bigger than mine. You've probably seen at least 1 or 2 of his videos at some point. Great little channel for learning more about lore. You know, maybe he'll do some videos on these guys in the near future, and I can be educated. But yeah. At the end of the day, I think these guys are worth picking up. At the time that this video is going up, they have been sold out. I got these guys on a pre-order, but hopefully they'll make some more, because I do honestly think these two are pretty fun and look very nice. But yeah, that is my review of the Comic Edition 2-pack of Emirate Xaaron and Autobot Flame.